Join Bob Kolazarik as he welcomes a diverse array of guests to the enlightening talk show, Greetings from the Ashram. In each episode, Bob sits down with experts and practitioners from the world of complementary healing modalities, spirituality, and holistic wellness to delve into the transformative power of these practices. From ancient traditions to cutting-edge therapies, Greetings from the Ashram offers viewers an insightful and uplifting journey into the realms of mind, body, and spirit. So now, please welcome your host, Bob Kolazarik.
Hello, everyone. Namaste. I am Bob Kolazarik, and you're watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Welcome to another episode of Greetings from the Ashram. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce my esteemed guest, Glendy Yueng. Glendy is a highly respected energy healer, spiritual mentor, and sound practitioner with a spiritual journey that has spanned over 2 decades. Her rich experiences have not only shaped her personally, but also have played a pivotal role in her past careers in neuroscience and cybersecurity in the corporate world. Glendy has a deep-seated passion for guiding empaths and sensitive souls, helping them to unravel the complex energetic currents that influence their thoughts, emotions, and overall presence in life. She is dedicated to teaching empaths and wellness practitioners how to create harmony using their inherent energetic awareness and advanced energy skills. Through her transformative programs, Glendy assists individuals in preventing energy leaks and managing emotional drains, enabling them to navigate the complexities of work and relationships with grace. We're excited to delve into these topics and more in today's episode. Welcome, Glendy. Welcome to the show.
Happy Friday. Thanks for having me, Bob.
Oh, happy Friday. I know it just goes, the weeks go by so fast. I am so thrilled to have you. We were talking offline before we, got on the air, and I just been following you on Facebook. We've not met in person and just watching what you do. And I'm really super impressed. And I didn't know that you had a background with neuroscience. So you have an interesting background with that and the cybersecurity. So could you share with us a little bit about your background and how the genesis of your spiritual journey?
Sure. And growing up as in Hong Kong, as an Asian person, Chinese person, culturally, we grow up with so many different things, Christianity, Buddhism, and also just local traditions of what is, the spirit world means. And that has a little bit of an ingrained backgrounds and behind the scene. And as I grow up, and just like all teenagers, rebellions, and as we get into our educations, science become what captivating as a forefront of what is directions of what life is going. Yeah, that's how it presented to us. So I actually dive into a lot of scientific study and major in neuroscience, and where I have research studies in neuroscience for several years, working in neurobiology of aging and neurobiology of development. For quite a few years, and dive deep into the process of what this science mean in the Western world, in America. And it's fascinating just being behind the scenes, seeing how science is done, and also what, as a late, general person, how we perceive what science to be. And that transitioned me from studying of the brain, which is definitely something I'm fascinated about, to working with more of the digital electronic brain and technology, cybersecurity, about how technology and the organizations of signals and networks, neural network, or in this case, digital network, right, affect how the organizations, in this case, protecting an organization or even granting access. So I'm kind of, my personal journey ends up starting deeper practices into the more masculine, more of the scientific, the left brain, the logic side of the house. But it is through my corporate years, I actually have like 17 years in corporates under my belt, and it's recognizing that there's only so much that the logic, the wisdom, there's something beyond logic that can't be reached. It needs something more. And actually, unbeknownst to me, when I started my Eastern study, which is actually very early on in my corporate career, just starting very innocently, just doing yoga, because I'm recognizing that I need to move as exercise, and very quickly dive deep into the Buddha, the esoteric Buddhist philosophy, the yoga philosophy, the Hindu studies, as well as the esoteric Tibetan Buddhism, and which eventually led me to pranic healing. And so that's the, it is in fact I would say it's the spiritual aspect of it, and me going through personal hardships or heartbreak that I recognizing, wait a minute, like despite all this logic, the rationality and how we functions in the world, there's so much wisdom. There's like for me to go where I want to go, I need to rely on the spiritual practices that I actually already developing simultaneously.
And so, how far into your career, your neuroscience and cybersecurity career, did you start making that transition? It was early on, you said, right? You started transitioning and studying it. When did this start to evolve? And how did it affect your like worldview and what you're doing now?
Yeah. I started yoga actually simultaneously. Well, I wouldn't say that. Let's see. I actually did. I started yoga simultaneously with my cybersecurity and my neuroscience study in college, and then afterwards. And and along the way, in my corporate days, that's where my relying heavily on the meditations, the energy healing, the sound baths, the breath work, all the somatic practices that actually getting me through the ups and downs of like daily corporate living, daily modern living. Yeah.
Now, were you like teaching, or were you like receiving? Were you receiving these healings before you got into actually teaching? Is that what you were doing? Just yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, let's see. I would say that like I have about probably 10 years of yoga practices as well as 5 years of which of Tibetan Buddhist initiations and deep trainings, lay study as well, some Vajrayana studies before eventually and become a yoga teacher for several years, as well as dive from the meditations went from a yoga meditations to a seated meditations to a meditations and actions and energy healing. So I started pranic healing, which is the first energy healing modalities that I officially study, even though I already had a lot of Tibetan Buddhist background by then. I started Tibetan pranic healing and hatha yoga in 2008.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and by 2012, I started doing energy healing, and that's a lot more prominence in my friends and family. And then eventually, I left corporate about 6 years ago, and that's when I look back.
Congratulations! Congratulations
Yeah,
for escaping that. Yes.
yeah, and at the time, I recognizing that I needed more time for my own personal practice. And I also, along the way, despite my corporate career, I recognizing there is something that I haven't even started my real career yet. And by then, I already been in prana healing, a certified prana healer, and also have started studying sound, um, uh, geomancy. Eventually, I get into geomancy, which is a land clearing practice under the Taoist modality, spiritual herbalism with working with plants and flower essences, as well as eventually kind of after I left corporate, even dive much deeper, opening the world in dowsing and telepathic healing and two other aspects of in addition beyond going beyond the chakra base and the energy, how we work with energy, but go deeper into more of the spiritual energetic impact of how it affects our emotions, our thoughts, and our body. Yeah.
Yeah, the dowsing, the telepathic thing. Can you just tell me real quick what that is? I've never heard of it, but I love the sound of it, and I'm all in on it already. So
So it's but I'll circle back one more thing because you asked me how my journey actually started. But unbeknownst to me, now that I'm looking back, I thought my journey started when I started yoga, which for a lot of people does, right? When we start working with our body and connecting to our mind. But well, actually, I started my spiritual journey, if you call it spiritual, I'll even use a different name by now, probably when I'm like 4, 5, 6 years old, when my uncle was in deep pursuits of ancient aliens, the Mayan culture. And by 6 years old, I already speak well versed in a lot of sci-fi concept.
Yeah.
That actually fast forward to now, not only is it being prominent in the current culture, but it's also being part of being exposed as part of our reality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is, and it's because I had like an awakening when I was pretty young, and I had a lifetime of just studying. But it wasn't until I found pranic healing or Hatha yoga that it really takes it to the next level. But so it's kind of
Mhm.
within us. So it's really interesting how people just because I talk to a lot of people and how they just kind of hit that point in their life, and they're like, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and you just fall into it, and that's beautiful. But but you have like a world views on your path of the energy healing, and you mentioned you and I were sharing some notes on galactic history. What tell me about that?
Mhm.
Because this is something else that I've not heard much about.
Well, I think, along the way, a part of our journey, recognizing our energetic journey, especially as pranic healers, we kind of get exposed to a lot of different things. And I think it was during my pranic healing years that when I recognized it, wait a minute, since when is this duality and the Star Wars and Star Trek things actually the same thing? And it was pretty shocking at the time, and took a lot of time to unravel what that means. But to me, a big pursuit in understanding and relating to who we are, to each other, to the problems in the world, and that we see that's difficult to solve, and the greater changes that's actually happened right now. We have to look deeper into the history that we didn't know, that we've forgotten, or not even, it's not a documented history in books that we know of, but rather has to do with a deeper a galactic history, a deeper into who and what we are before we even incarnated into this body and circumstances. Yeah, and that was very clear for me personally, that I keep on getting breadcrumbs along the way about some of my participations in other lives, in other planets, other systems that actually brought into to affecting who we are. And I think it's easier to we think of as it's easier we think of past lives, right? Or it's easier these days be more open to explore the idea of that, what we lived in the past as like at the Roman soldier, or that the right at the hardships that we are at as a farmer in some country, right? Enslaved under the landowner. So those are the we can envision of that. But what about beforehand? What about earlier than that? What about the even how do we even come into the solar system? How do we even come into this plane of existence? So once we get tap into, there's a lot more stories about who and what we are and how we came by and why are things are the way we are, including all the current circumstances that we're seeing. That it's affecting how we think and feel. And I know that we know as how everything started in this world from Big Bang. What if we know the story before Big Bang? And Big Bang are just the stories. Yeah.
It could be just part of the story. Who knows? It could be just the 1 millionth Big Bang. Who knows how many Big Bangs there have been?
Well, yeah, no, I have a bit of the stories about Big Bang, and yes, it's sure it created things the way we are, but it really wasn't supposed to be. So that ties into a bigger story of like and ties and also kind of related to we're like, wait a minute, something so far away with no concept of, and only certain people maybe will be able to pull down information, and how does it affect us currently?
Yeah.
And the answer
Well,
is everything.
Well, if it's a Big Bang, in that quantum entanglement, we all come from that one place, and then that kind of builds to we all are one. We're all entangled. We're all part of this cosmic soup together. But it is time to take a break. I am your host, Bob Kozarek, and you're watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We'll be right back with more Glendy right after this.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery, or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Bob Kolazarek, and you are watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We're back with Glendy Yueng, talking about a fascinating topic. I think I could spend a whole hour talking about galactic history. So before we move on, could you take us through a little bit more about it? It's really fascinating what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think probably it's such a long and complex topic, and you know how when there was a story I think I've heard about how a king and asked his minister to explain, given the world history, and the king was the secretary or the minister was writing like books and books and books and books, and the king was like, no, it's too long, it's too much. And then the minister went back and shortened it, and the king repeated this request several times, and eventually the minister say, war, peace, war, peace, war. And unfortunately, I think there's definitely that element in the world outside of our bubble that we know as this earth. And I think that also explains that when I learn about some more details, but explain a lot of things that we inherited, that we think like we are fighting for because of greed, fighting for resources. We're fighting because we think we are right and we're wrong. And when a lot of the deeper reason, why is there hatred? Why is there certain viewpoint of why something is better or worse? Even the concept of money, a lot of them inherited from somewhere in a high dimensional world. And a lot of those high dimensional worlds, it's what we have known as translate to a lot of spiritual contexts that becomes a lot of high dimensional beings that are in spiritual and religious contexts. So when they're just different races, different dimensionality, that have different history and have different wants and needs and desire, have different conflicts, they're kind of brought onto here. So, if you hear of the terms of like, this is like the battlefield or the playground of the angels and the demons, that's, that's a little bit of what we're, dealing with here sometimes on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, just more you get in tune and aware, the higher beings are out there, things are happening in the inner world, might not see it all, but things are happening. And because as you start living your life and life starts working for you, unfolding for you, you just see the beauty of it, and things align, and there's just magic in that. So it really is a beautiful thing, but based on your experience, your intuitive nature, and everything that what do you see looming on the horizon for us here now?
Yeah, and I think a big part of it is like, well, there's all these things that are out there that we are slowly beginning to discover. And I think part of it is because where we are, the Earth ship is traveling through in space, and right there, it's being hit by certain light as information that is waking up a lot of people. And when I say waking up, it's actually shaking, like opening up, open people up's certain capacity, abilities. They become more sensitive to energy. They become more sensitive to other people's thoughts and feels, and have begun to develop what is often time known as psychic powers. Or maybe they have more premonitions, but they also at the same time are more susceptible to energy being pulled. That is, they may not even recognizing, even though that is happening in their world. So what I'm seeing in clients, and I'm curious what you see as well, Bob, in your world, is that as people are beginning to, instead of just being tied so tight to the society program, right, the day to day, the whether it's the educations or what is the money making, the climbing the whatever ladder that they're climbing, right? Or the family. What is the family structure? All the traditions and cultures that has been developed over the last several hundred or thousands of years that we know of. But people are awakening up to there's something even greater, something even deeper, to who they are, what they truly are, and begin questions and recognizing the incongruency to how they are forced to live or how they should live based on everyone around them and what the TV is telling them, etc. So the waking up part, it's not just to discontent with what is not functioning, but rather it's waking up to their own sensitivity to registering energy, registering like something greater, having access to something that yearning, like a deeper truth, deeper sense of who they are and how they should be. And that is a big shift happening for a lot of people, and a lot of people kind of need help on that because they are kind of discombobulated with the burdens associated with it.
Well, it's a shock when you start all these thought forms start coming at you, or you start like having all these feelings that you never had before. I mean, I had all that happen when I was like in high school, and it was terrible. And it happened like boom, a lot all at once. But it took me a long time before I even realized that a lot of the feelings that I'm feeling aren't even mine. And that's insane. But I could see where the last couple of years, for me, I can tell the growth and the peeling of layers have been like accelerated over the last couple of years. I've noticed. Have you noticed that too? Is
Oh,
it like in the last couple of years?
yeah, absolutely. There are definitely more people that are all of a sudden have the growth spurts. The
That's a good
awaken,
way to look at the growth spurts. Yes.
yeah, because of last couple years, and again, it has to do a bigger story. That's why it ties into galactic history about or galactic happening currents, not even history. That it have influenced why some people are waking up the way that they do, and what is that arising. Because in addition to the burdens, there's gifts and abilities and the burdens, but there's also older layers of unresolved things that are arising that may become showing up as physical issues, showing up as mental emotional turmoils, and all those that like you can just chuck it up as karmic ripening. But it's very very real and tangible, affecting how people deal with external, like, dealing with just managing themselves, but also managing their relationships and managing their work. And for those who are sensitive or who are healers or working in any type of wellness professional, uh, coaches, therapists, and professions, and when they're waking up, then when they have to deal with the equivalence of energy from clients, whether it's in a group and individually, that's a lot to manage.
Yeah, well, I could tell you, I have firsthand experience with the ancient karma that you're talking about. I'll tell you a quick story. My ex-wife, who there's a long story. She had passed away, right? And there's a history there. I was taking care of her for a while, blah blah blah. But it's like a year later. I'm with Master Glenn. I emailed Master Glenn. I thanked him for his help through that process because he was guiding me, giving me advice. And he just he was just so good about it. The karma aspect of it, though, had to be put to bed with her, and I was having reactions, and he told me I just had ancient anger, ancient seeds coming out, and it was getting to the point where it was like overtaking me, and I wasn't looking for help. That actually I had to get some healings done myself because it was just like coming out. It's really kind of powerful and strong, and it's like, wow, this is out of my control.
Yeah, absolutely. I have clients that, things that are coming out as like very physical symptoms, right? And it's like you talk about like vomiting and things that are like it's almost like a deep purge. Um,
Yeah, yeah, and the more that the light's coming in and you're growing, I mean, but you're peeling off layers, and when you're peeling off layers, you're releasing it. So it's not an easy process. I mean, it could be quite difficult and challenging. So it is important to have somebody like you to help guide through that process too, right?
Yeah, and you mentioned it, right? Like at the very beginning, you have no idea how to tell what's yours and what not yours. And that is such a big lessons for all the empaths and all those who's starting that process to really learn who they are, what is theirs and what is not. And definitely guidance and exercises that you can bounce things off. And that's another thing about how everybody is so different. Like we can have similar experiences, and some of the tools I recognize that apply for some people and it doesn't apply for others. So, but that's where the benefit of having having worked through multiple layers of the process, so that you can actually try different things to find out how it works for you. And I think that is very important for those who are in this place.
Yeah, I think it's a never-ending process. We have no idea how many ancient layers are hanging out there. So it's just like, good luck. But the good news is, and when we leave the transition of body, our development stays with us as we move on to the next level. So that's good. But what about location? You were uh, in our notes together. You were talking about how are people affected with location and their habits. What do you mean by the location? What are you saying?
A lot of people are well, thanks to what we noticed COVID, right? The last several years, a lot of people are being called to relocate. Some of them are practical human reason, right? For whatever they think is the human reason. But a lot of people are also very practically being called by a deeper yearning to go to certain places. And as you probably have come across, Bob, every places that we visited, where we live, it's not just because we feel like it or for any kind of convenient human reason of pleasure or weather or whatever those may be. A lot of times, all the places that we have been called to, we are actually retracing our footstep or have a part in disentangling any karma from other lives. So that's one angle of how locations has become important or become significant. And people are guided to certain places, or people are guided to be away from certain places because of the different forces are taking over certain parts of the world that they need to be moved away from because they have a different alignment internally.
Yeah,
And see,
I'm kind of chuckling when you're saying that, because my kids have both moved out. I'm an empty nester now, and I was thinking, where do I want to go? I don't think I want to stay in Philadelphia, and I'm just like, I don't know. So I was getting pulled. So I'm not getting a new place. I am getting a travel trailer RV. I'm going to hook it up to my truck, and then I'm just going to go, and I'm going to go explore. I feel like I'm pulled to that's what I need to be doing. I think I need to travel around and retrace my steps. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I mean, that is very funny that you say that, but I'm experiencing that myself right now.
wow, fantastic. And definitely use this opportunity to, and it's fun because the last several years, a lot of places that I visited, I travel a lot used to be in the old days, more in the old way of traveling, whether you're sightseeing, visiting relatives, or for many years, actually a lot of travels that I've done has to do with spiritual practice and spiritual studies. But lately, the last few years, I would say a lot of the travel, the places I go to, has to more do with clearing out energetic entanglements in a certain location. So as you tune in to where you want to go next, I highly recommend that becomes part of your to do, right? Cleaning up any entanglements, any energy that traces that you have left that need to be disentangled. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely take that note. I'm going to name drop. Do you know Evita Mariam from Greece? She's an
Yeah.
arithmosophist. So anyway,
Yes.
she was on the show, and I had like a private reading with her after the fact, and she was talking about locations and how locations are very important to where you live. And she was talking about the like I'm a Sagittarius rising sign or a Leo sun sign, that where you live should be more in line with that rising sign or the sun sign. And like the different places have that kind of qualities about them, which I thought was super fascinating as well. So I need to get the two of you guys together, and we need to map up a plan for myself here.
Well, use your intuition, because this is another thing I notice is that a lot of clients I work with, because it's easy to be just like, oh, I want to solve the problem of lack of or bad sleep, or I want to solve the problem of weight gain, or lack of the sort of problems of wanting to find a partner. But oftentimes, the real problems, it's very multi-layered and like convoluted. You can't just solve one problem like that. It's usually have different anchors and different aspects of our life, and they show up as the immediate lessons that we need to, or the immediate challenge that we have to work through. A lot of times what shows up, it's more like video games. You have to fight the next boss before you can get to the next boss, right? And you go to journey and find the right thing, and then and then it show up. So I bet that in your journey that you will have whatever, whether it's a crisis or a little challenge or like a thing, and that shows up in your world, that you actually will be able to see how it ties into the bigger picture. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. And the thought of it might be a little bit like scary. It's like, I've never done anything, but you had mentioned something about we're thinking outside of the corporate structure. I need to do this. I need to have this place. But no, I really don't. I could do this show from anywhere in the world. I can handle my clients from anywhere in the world. I don't have to be anywhere. I can just go out and be out in nature for a while and just enjoying life, and just really tapping deeper into myself, into the nature. But it is time to take another short commercial break. I am your host, Bob Kolazarik, and you're watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We'll be right back after this.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant. Like, I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, Bob Kolozarik, and you're watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Back with Glendy Yueng. Hello. I tell you, I've been really, just thrilled to have you on the show. I'm just learning a lot, and thank you for the private reading you've been giving me, because everything you're talking about is resonating with me. So I couldn't be any more grateful for you to be here. But I know one of the things you wanted to cover, and to help the people out there, is the concept of the energy hygiene and why it's important. And especially in these current times. So where would you begin with sharing that with the audience today?
Yeah, because of the changes that are happening right now, literally with the sun has changed. Last year, 2023, the sun has downgraded. Think of it, it's used to be more spiritual, for lack of a better word, but like now it's more physical. Again, that's not the right analogy, but think of it as more of a dense world. And I think for a lot of people, they notice the sun. I mean, I have noticed the sun change the last 10 years. They got stronger, hitting us differently. And it will, moving forward, affect us even more. And that's just one example that I can speak of concretely that a lot of people actually can feel. But even the last 10 years, and for those who are waking up to the sensitivity, right? Those changes are more internal changes, because you can sense and feel things that perhaps the person next to you, just like what you're talking about, have no idea what it is. So those changes are very concrete to those who are experiencing it. And the key to maintaining your sanity, as well as going forward, right? As well as to really dive deeper into who you are in the world that's to come, it's extremely important to develop energetic hygiene and energetic self-care. Prana healing has a great foundation as a modality that actually covers a lot of that, and have since also been expanded upon a lot of things that is necessary for us to help maintain this energetic health. Because a big part of it is like, if you don't feel it, you don't know, if you're a 5-year-old kid running around with paint on the hands and like putting on the walls and just all happy-go-lucky, and you have no problems. When your mom sees you and know that is a problem, right? Then the mom would be like screaming about it. So if when you were a kid, that you didn't know, you're spreading things around, you're dirty, and you're putting paint on yourself, you're putting paint on others and on the furniture, versus when you become the mom, right? When you see what happens and when you know what happens. So the first thing first is really to develop that awareness, that to have that, just knowing what is your sensation, what is your normal sensation, what is your normal thought and feeling, so that when there are intrusive thoughts that comes in, or maybe there's anxiety that comes out of nowhere, that you would know the questions. Wait a minute, that's not my norm. Is it mine?
Yeah, I think the awareness, to even have the awareness that that's even a possibility, might be even the first step, right? Because like I was like that for a long time and never knew it until okay, you start having the awareness that it's even a possibility. I mean, when I was growing up, I didn't know what a highly sensitive person was or anything like that. There wasn't like the community that there is today. But yeah, the inner awareness is huge.
Yeah. And like you said, I love that, because, even the possibility of that it being a thing, because most of the time we're just assuming, why would we think differently? We just assume everything happens and the way that we feel and experience, we just assume it's ours. We just assume that everything, that's how everybody function, when it's very, very individualized in that way, in your energy system, processing the world, processing other people, absorbing things that happens in the environment. And another thing is, like, if you don't know, so knowing what you feel, knowing how normally you feel, knowing the differences, and also, like you said, knowing what can the possibility of those things that can happen. Because you don't know that, things are like, the sensations like that is actually energetic parasite. You're just assuming that, you're itchy for no reason, or you blame it on allergies or something. You wouldn't even think of it as a possibility. So there's a lot of categories I would put them into, to things that are actually the things that possibly happens in an energetic sense. So once you develop a bigger vocabulary, a bigger energetic sensing vocabulary that you can kind of bounce against, like, wait, is this, is this that? Then you can actually take actions to clean up things that are actually not yours, is disturbing you, causing you indigestions, causing you, right? You're warming up or whatever sensations, causing anger, causing a lot of things that actually affect how we show up to people in front of us, to work situations and whatnot. So that's when, the awareness, knowing what's out there, and knowing the observing what is also coming at you as well. Because I also notice people, a lot of people dealing with repeating patterns, things coming at them. It's not the internal thing, but why is the same thing keep on coming, right? If you don't even see that it's the same thing, then you miss a big clue of solving this puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lesson. If it keeps coming around, it's going to come around in subtly different shapes or forms, but it's the same lesson wrapped up in a different package, right?
Exactly. So that is also clues, and how you react to those same thing coming up is also clues. So and that's where the energetic work comes in, because the more that you can clean out, wipe the glasses, wipe your own glasses, the more that you can be able to in tune to what's true, what's not true, try it on for different sides, and so that you don't have to keep on repeating the same patterns again, right? So that you can actually solve the bigger puzzle that you've been put in front of, that begging you to solve when you're like just not seeing it. Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where, and I don't know if you experience this, but like I realize this because I've been experimenting and just, a long time, because energy work, you want to experiment, you want to prove things out to yourself. But like I'll think of, I remember one time early on, I needed to go to a meeting, and I started to think about the people at the meeting, and my heart rate started going up, and I started getting stressed. I'm like, but I'm not stressed. So I'm thinking, all right, this is divine from the people in the meeting, because I know it was going to be a difficult meeting, right? So I just start blessing the meeting, just blessed, everything goes well, and then you go to the meeting and everything's like beautiful, works out, boom, 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 but I started noticing those clues in the way that I'm feeling, and I started picking up on them, like, and it's different, if you're thinking about a person, thinking about a situation, thinking about an event, stuff like that. I mean, you could just kind of feel it.
I love this example, Bob, but yes, exactly. Because if you're able to pinpoint something, then you can do something about it, right? Whether it's, in this case, you're blessing and working with the energetics of the people, of the circumstances, of yourself. Yeah, there's a lot to be done. And that's why I feel like this is at an age, we are instead of just in addition, or for a lot of people, right, that we count on ourselves we're empowered to actually make changes, make positive changes by acting on registering this subtle currents that actually affecting us.
Well, it's a very intangible skill set that's hard to put down and define on a resume.
Well, you know what it is? You know how in the old days we think, in order to be healthy, we need to eat right, we need to exercise. And then the next stage is, we know when we need to be healthy, we need to think positive thoughts, right? And then the next thing is, when we're healthy, we need to work on our emotions. I think we're at the age that we are evolved to a place that when we need to be healthy, we need to work on our energy.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So what some of the energy clearing work or tools that you can recommend, or that you use, and then maybe can recommend to people who are watching?
Yeah. For empaths, I mean, that's a lot of the basic from pranic healings was really fantastic, because for those who haven't dived into actually learning doing energy healing, which is, especially if you are sensitive, I highly recommend that you do, because you'll come across it no matter what. So you might as well use that, and because of your sensitivity, you'll be able to do a lot more, a lot quicker and easier, and you'll see the results so fantastically. But taking salt bath, that's like the great basic pranic healing thing, and it's benefit to so many people that I share who are not dive deep into the deep end, right? Invested into the energy healing world, but they recognize such a huge difference when they're taking once a week, twice a week, like a couple pounds of sea salt. with essential oils, right? Unless you have a ocean in your backyard, just to clear your energy.
Yeah.
In addition to the aura, what you're carrying in our energy fields, including the thoughts and emotions that from others, from yourself, that being in the energy fields all around you, the salt water, it's kind of in the substance, the closest substance to the aura, and with the salt being a crystal that you can actually call on to program them as to pull out all the things. So if for just doing a salt bath foundations, that's a really fantastic thing to start. And I think these days, for a lot of people, sound has become, I call it, about 8 years ago, I know sound will be more, I call it as in more popular than yoga. And it's definitely catching on these days. I'm seeing it a lot more. And being a modality that actually can help a lot of people to loosen things up, or through the process of resonance, that our body of our disorganized orchestra of our different organs, different instruments, different organs that we have, right? That are, we worry a little bit, we pain a little bit, that a mixed part of emotions and thoughts and vibrations, that being pulled to a more consistent, harmonious setting when we are bathed, when we are connected with sound that have that harmonious field. So for a lot of people, they find sound on YouTube, or go to a sound bath. I host sound bath as well, but you can even listen to them online. That actually bring a lot of lightness, because as things are more dissipated from their energy field, as they become more resonating, when they resonate with what they're listening to, that's much more harmonious. So sound is a very powerful one that for a lot of people to try and work on.
I definitely want to try it. Where are you located? You're in New York State, but whereabouts?
I'm in Hudson Valley. I'm in between the Berkshires and Hudson. So I'm in Columbia County, New York. Yeah. Okay. And I like to do sound bath outdoor, because of when we're doing sound bath, things that you're actually releasing energy. So yeah. I like nature helpful to, as part of doing part of the job, to transmute and transform what we're releasing.
I definitely want to try it. I haven't done it, but I definitely want to do it. But we are just about out of time for today. So I will put up your contact information. I think I have that. Glendy Yueng, Yeung.com. And you can reach Glendy at glendy.glendyyeung.com. Again, for those listening on the radio, Glendy Yueng, Yeung.com. So you can find out about her programs and everything on her website, and truly a professional. And you know what? Just you coming on the show is what makes this show a success, having people like you come on and share your expertise and experience. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Bob. Lovely conversation.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely have you back at some point. So I have to take a break. I'm Bob Kozarek, and you've been watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Bob Kolazarek, and you're watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. As I start to wrap up today's episode, I want to just take another moment to express my gratitude to our wonderful guest, Glendy Yueng. Her profound insights into energy healing, spirituality, the significance of energy hygiene have truly enriched our understanding. The wisdom she shared and the practices she recommended will undoubtedly help us navigate these changes and these changing times with greater ease and harmony. On behalf of our listeners and viewers and myself, I just want to say another heartfelt thank you to Glendy for joining us and the positive impact she's making in the world and the light workers of the world. We thank you and look forward to welcoming you back to the show in the future. My guest next week is Laura Martinez, the shamanic therapist. She's not just a therapist, but she's also a spiritual healer, author, speaker, and meditation guide. With a master's degree in clinical mental health, Laura brings a unique blend of scientific knowledge and spiritual wisdom to her work. Laura's approach to healing is deeply rooted in her scientific training and expertise in psychoneurological issues, but what truly sets her apart is her deep understanding of shamanic principles and practices, which is a legacy she inherited from her great-grandmother, the renowned healer Guadalupe Galvin Rivera. So Laura seamlessly merges her roles, providing a very holistic approach to mental health and well-being. So I'm excited to have her here next week to delve into her insights and experiences. So as we draw to a close on this episode of Greetings from the Ashram, I just want to take a moment again to reflect on the powerful concepts of energy hygiene that Glendy so eloquently shared with us today. Energy hygiene, as Glendy explained, is about maintaining our energetic health. Much like our physical health, it's about being aware of the energy we carry within us, the energy we absorb from others, the energy we project out into the world. It's about understanding that our energy, like our physical bodies, needs regular care and attention. She shared with us some invaluable tools and techniques for energy clearing work, from sound healing to meditation. These practices can help us cleanse our energy field, balance our chakras, and align ourselves with the energy of the universe. They can help us navigate our lives with greater ease, grace, and harmony. But energy hygiene is not just about clearing negative energy. It's about cultivating positive energy. It's about filling our energy field with love and joy, peace, and gratitude. It's about aligning ourselves with the highest vibrations of the universe. As we move forward, I encourage each of you to make energy hygiene a regular part of your daily routine. Just as you brush your teeth or take a shower to maintain your physical hygiene, take a few moments each day to cleanse and balance your energy field. You might just be surprised at the profound impact it can have on your overall well-being. So I just want to talk about another couple of energy hygiene tips before we wrap up to help you maintain a healthy energy field. We talked about meditation on Twin Hearts. Regular meditation on Twin Hearts helps to cleanse and balance your energy field. It helps to calm the mind, reduce stress, which also can negatively impact your energy levels if you don't keep that stress under control. Physical exercise is not just good for your body, but also your energy field. It helps to shake off that stagnant energy and increase your vitality. A proper diet, eat a balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains. You can help to maintain a strong and healthy, vibrant energy field. Glendy mentioned salt baths or showers. Salt is known for its cleansing properties. Taking a salt bath or shower can help to cleanse your aura and remove any negative energy. There's grounding. Spend time in nature. Ground yourself, walking barefoot on the grass. Set that intention to absorb that good ground prana, the good air prana, solar sun prana. Hug a tree. Sit in a park bench. Just balance your energy field being out in nature. And avoid energy drainers. Stay away from people, places, or situations that drain your energy. Surround yourself with positive influences that uplift and inspire you. And just practice energy hygiene. Just practice. Just like you brush your teeth or take a shower to maintain your physical hygiene, it's important to practice the energy hygiene. So remember, it's a daily practice. It's not something you do once and forget about it. It's a lifestyle choice, really, that can greatly enhance your overall well-being. Just remember, we're not just physical beings. We're energetic beings living in an energetic universe. And by maintaining our energy hygiene, we can align with ourselves, with the flow of the universe, navigate life's challenges with greater ease, and truly thrive in all areas of our lives. So that's it for me today. Please follow me on my social media as follows. It's Self-Help Coaching LLC at Facebook and YouTube. On Instagram at Self-Help Coaching. And then there's a dash between self-help-coaching-LLC on LinkedIn. So please follow me. Keep in touch. And thank you for joining us on Greetings from the Ashram. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep seeking harmony in your life. See you next week. Namaste.
This has been Greetings from the Ashram with host Bob Kolazarik. Through meaningful conversations and practical insights, this show invites you to explore the endless possibilities for personal growth, healing, and spiritual awakening. Tune in each week to discover how these practices can bring balance and harmony to your life, making it a true journey of self-discovery. Fridays, 7 p.m. on the Bold